When I'm looking for needlework kits and supplies at the thrift store, I start out by looking for the sewing machines and the silk flowers. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle, and if you're familiar with my channel, you will know that I love thrifting for vintage cross stitch kits and patterns and floss and fabric and whatever I can get my hands on. And I wanted to make a video to give you some tips for how I find them because most thrift stores don't have a neatly labeled section that says cross stitch kits. I know of one or two that do, and I appreciate them greatly. But if you go to Goodwill or St. Vinny's or one of the other stores, you're going to have to do a little more digging to find them. Usually there is a craft aisle. You're looking for yarn, rubber stamps, party decor. If they have cross stitch, it is going to be buried in with all of this. It takes patience to sort through. And the more you do it, the more you will train your eyes to see the corner of a cross stitch kit or plastic with a little bit of floss peeking through. And most of the time, I don't find anything. Or if I do find something, it's not something that I want to stitch. But I find those once in a lifetime needlework hauls just often enough that I keep going back hoping lightning will strike twice. If you find something that you really like, take some extra time and look around and see if whoever donated it donated more than one kit, because I have had that happen multiple times. If I find some good needlework books in the book section, I am immediately headed back to this aisle to see what else that same person might have donated. I found a floor stand one day, which was not a great floor stand, but that is the same day I found one of the out of print Paula Vaughn books that I absolutely love. So keep your eyes open, and if there is something, there might be more. If you are buying floss, don't assume that it is going to be DMC. A lot of times it is, but it can also be like this box right here, which is something from the craft store that they were using. I'm assuming they were using to make friendship bracelets. I don't know what they were doing with it. It's six-stranded floss. It's not what I am looking for. In recent months, I have seen more and more of the Chinese knockoff flosses and more of the flosses that are from back in an era when DMC had a lot more competition. I've been finding JP Coats and a few brands I'd never heard of before. It's not bad floss. It's great to stitch with. But if you're comparing prices to determine the value, and if you're getting a good deal or not, don't be comparing it to the per skein price of brand new DMC because that's comparing apples to oranges. A lot of the kits that I find do tend to be a bit older. Someone bought it and kept it and decided not to stitch it and donated it, so that makes a lot of sense. Also, I think more than once I found a collection that makes me fear that someone either passed away or got too old to stitch anymore, because I'm talking kits that are 50 years old. That happens a lot. Once in a blue moon, I will find something considerably newer. And it helps that my taste runs to more classic traditional patterns. And I'm not trying to find the newest, trendiest things. Although I found newer Mill Hill kits, I found things they're still selling at the local needlework shop. So it is always worth looking. Thrifting for craft supplies is probably more likely to work for you if you're flexible about what you want to stitch and your taste is kind of eclectic. For me, it's also helpful that I keep my eyes open for yarn or quilting cotton or anything else that I can use in my crafty hobbies. I'm not specifically looking for just one thing. And I enjoy looking at the vintage bric-a-brac and the quirky old furniture. So thrifting is an adventure I'm never sad if I leave the shop empty-handed. Let me know, do you thrift for craft supplies? Do you have some great tips that I have missed out on or a strategy that I can learn from? If you do, please leave a comment in the comment section below because I would love to hear about it. I'm planning a second video to follow up this one with some advice on what to look at before you buy that perfect kit you just found, because buying anything from a thrift store really is kind of a buyer beware situation. And I've had some near misses in the past that I'm glad I caught before spending my money. Thanks for watching. I'm Michelle. This is my romantic tangle.